Here we are. I'm certainly glad the sun has come out. It's a lot warmer than it was when I voted this morning, and there are quite a few people here to vote. And we are hearing all across the state a really, really large turnout, and you're seeing it right here. So as of right now, it looks like statewide, almost 50% of the voters have voted. And that, if you combine that with the 25% of the voters who voted absentee ballot, you're looking at something like 75% already, and it's only noon. So that is the typical turnout in a presidential election, is about 75% of the registered voters. So clearly, people are voting, and voting in big numbers. We've had very few problems that have been reported to us, and I think all our planning is paying off. I don't know what it is, whether it's because people have been home and they're just anxious to vote. And I think it's wonderful. I can throw away all those speeches I used to make about the apathy of voters, because nobody's apathetic this year, that's for sure. So that's about it. Hopefully we won't have any other problems. The only things that have been reported, a few small, we had a couple of polling places that were without power this morning. It was quickly restored, probably the result of the wind storms that we had yesterday. But other than that, it's pretty smooth, except for the big crowds. There are long lines in some places, and then some places there's no line at all. So kind of depends. But we did not collapse polling places here. We're using pretty much the same polling places we always do for every election. So that's the report from noon. It's very gratifying, and I think we did a lot of planning, and it's paying off.
So they're supposed to do 100% of ballots, right? They're supposed to print enough to cover every single voter, right?
That's correct. So we hope we won't have anyone running out of ballots. But by the way, if they do, we all know now from previous elections, there is a process by which you can print more ballots, put your stamp on them in the town, and keep on going, which is what should happen. The election should never stop. So we're hoping that all the training we've done with the local officials, they know what to do if that happened.
Do you recall any other time when you've seen 75% turnout at midday on an election day?
No, is the short answer. Like I said, in 2016, the total turnout was about 75%. Now, of course, we have the biggest number of registered voters we've ever had, and a lot of them registered not long ago. So we're up over 2.3 million. That's a couple of 100,000 more than we usually have. So it is a percent of a bigger number as well. So that just tells you we're going to have a very large turnout.
We were hearing some districts received the wrong set of ballots. Do you know what's being done to remedy the situation? I guess New London was one of those areas. Viewer emailed us about Killingly. So I don't know if that's confirmed, but
yeah, I haven't.
Is that going to slow down the process?
Oh no, not at all. In New London, we are going to. They've figured out. I think these were absentee ballots that went out, and there were two districts that got mixed up for a group of voters. But we can rectify it, so we're going to allow them to vote for all the offices except for the one that's in question, and that would be two different state rep districts. And those people, they're working right now on calling them all, finding out who they are, and allowing them to vote just for that office. But their vote will count for everything else.
Are you surprised to see this type of in-person turnout, given everything that's going on and all the efforts your office and local registrars have made to push absentee ballots out to everyone?
Yeah, I am in a way, although we also had a large number of absentee ballots. So this is one of these deals where you have to figure out what human behavior is going to be. I think a lot of people ask for absentee ballots thinking, well, I'll keep them and decide at the last minute if I want to go in person, because we did allow them that option. So it just shows, I guess, when you give people options, you don't know exactly which one they're going to take. Perhaps some of the people standing in this line requested an absentee ballot, but then decided at the last minute to come in.
Yeah.
That being said, West Hartford, I think, was one of the towns that had the highest number of absentee ballots in the state, somewhere around almost 20,000, I think, that went out, that have come back in. Actually, Stamford, I think, is the only other city that had a higher number. So,
with the larger record number of voters eligible to vote,
Do you think we could get north of 80%? The last time that happened was 1992 with Clinton.
You know, I hate making those predictions, and I've been really cautious before I said, I was kind of saying, maybe 80%, but I don't know. Looking at these numbers and looking at these polling places, could be more than that. All right, well, nice to see you all, and it's a very exciting day, and we'll see what comes of it. But we'll report back again later in the day when we get a better picture of what's going on. Okay, thanks, everyone.
Can you just address people wearing political apparel at the polls? What is the state? What is the rule about it? What's allowable apparel and what is not allowable apparel?
So the rule is there is no campaigning inside 75 feet of a polling place. That has been held by the courts to mean anything with a candidate's specific name on it. So if you have a shirt that says Biden-Harris, that would not be allowed. But if you had something that said Make America Great Again, even though it's affiliated with a candidate, it really doesn't have a candidate's name on it. So the courts have held that that's not campaigning. So it seems a little odd, but that's the rule.
So any hats or pins or t-shirts
Yeah.
with a candidate's name, you'd be asked to remove them and come back.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Have there been any issues you've heard about at all with the masks and anything like that?
No, we have not had a report. I know we tried to make it as clear as possible that while someone could say they didn't want to wear a mask, and we would still try to get them a way to exercise their constitutional right to vote. But I haven't heard any of that, so it's good. I think everybody's abiding by the rules, and we haven't heard of any problems.